Good morning, committee members. Today is October 17, 2018, and we're meeting here at the City of Laredo Health Department for the Blue Ribbon Committee for People with Disabilities. And I'd like to call a meeting to order. And the second item on the agenda is review and approve minutes of September 19th, 2018. So if you all could take a few minutes to just go over the minutes.
Ms. Howard, do you have a copy?
I'm sorry?
Did you get a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes, I'm looking at them now.
Great.
Mr. Chair, while you all are looking at the minutes, just to verify, a portion of the minutes are fees. They went before City Council Monday, so the fees have been reduced for the, to go back to what they were in 2017. Just for the lift.
Just for the.
Good. That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
How are you?
Sharon, even though Ms. Ramos wasn't able to attend, she did send over the minutes.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Ms. Aro, let us know if you can't hear us, but right now everyone's reviewing the minutes, so there's no discussion now.
Yes, okay, I can hear you.
So committee had enough time to look at the minutes, any revisions, changes? Dr. Ruthinger, I know that you expressed something right now that you
Oh,
needed to
just a change, because it says, under recommendations to Mayor Sons on membership rotation, it states that I recommended writing a letter for a prospect member if we decide on rotation. Actually, what I said was, if any of us need to get off of the Blue
That you
Ribbon
can.
Committee, then we can submit a letter requesting,
That's what I had understood.
right?
Yes,
I think that's.
yes, yeah, that is.
She said.
Mr. Chair, we'll make that.
Thank you. And again, we just wanna thank Ms. Jeanette Ramos for submitting the minutes to us, although she's not here today. And, Ms. Morales, thank you for coming.
Sorry,
It's okay,
I had a parrot.
it's all right,
So glad you're here.
just
Thank
to
you.
know that you're here. Any other changes? No? Okay, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes?
Love.
Second? Okay, thank you. We have a motion to accept and a second, and, the minutes, just with that revision that needs to be made, and that's all.
Mr. Chair, do we have someone taking notes for this meeting?
The camera's taking minutes.
Oh,
And,
okay.
no, Andrea.
Andrea, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Item number 3 is any public comments? I don't think anyone signed up.
Mr. Chair, no one has signed up.
Okay. Next item is number 4, is discussion possible action on the next steps for the update on White King Day. Mr. Delgado, who's primarily the primary advocate and promoter and advocate for this, is not here right now. However, we can still have some discussion. White King Day is a day dedicated to identifying or marking the achievements of individuals with blindness or having impaired vision. And this year it's going to be on October 19th at 9 a.m. It will start with the City Hall with a proclamation by the mayor, and then I think there's going to be several blocks walk to the city of Laredo, through the downtown area. And so I would like all of us to be there, just to support Mr. Delgado as well as the population that we are writing today.
I will be out of town on Friday with the school district, so I won't be attending Friday.
Then you need to send the superintendent over.
I did tell one of our supervisors to try to attend, and I told my VI teacher, so
Okay.
God willing they will.
No, well, you can send someone to represent you
I don't think the VI
guys.
teachers would want to be.
I did tell him.
Okay.
He sent me a presentation.
Mr. Chair, I don't know the workforce has anything to add to the.
No, we're good, we'll be there. Mr. Delgado will be there too.
Okay. Good. Yes, because he's not here today for one reason or another, but.
He's employed with Texas Workforce. Well, with the
That's right.
Workforce
That's
Center.
right.
With the Workforce Center, so I did talk to him yesterday, and he's doing amazing at his job. And he did mention he was going to dearly miss the opportunity to be here, so he wanted me to tell you that.
And he will be there on Friday.
Yes, he will be there on
Okay.
Friday.
And Mr. Chair, I don't know, certainly at City Hall, if people want to put information, we can have tables there as well for information that the public can access. And just let us know how many tables you need, which will be there, and that's fine. Is it, I think, a good opportunity to promote both what workforce is doing and then certainly what.
I know Ms. Mata Miguel is not here, but I know that she is in charge of that, particularly that program or department. And so,
I'm gonna see him this afternoon, I'll ask him to see if they wanna set up a booth or a table or anything.
okay, it should probably be the better one to be able to provide the public with.
I know
some-
Anna House is very involved with things, so I'll talk to Anna also and see if they wanna bring in maybe a table where they can bring in some flyers regarding the local
Services.
Okay, that sounds good.
Sir, I'd like to suggest that we wear our blue ribbon shirts for the event.
Okay. Are sure?
That's why I joined, because of the shirts.
Okay, sounds good. Any other discussion on the White King Day? Dr. Gonzalez? No? Okay. The next item is scheduled to invite businesses to the Blue Ribbon Committee meeting and present on workforce and sensitivity. I know that we had some discussion about meeting or bringing businesses in to discuss the possibility of enticing them to hire a population with disabilities. And so, do we need to go through the Chamber of Commerce to do that? No?
No, Mr. Chair, and you all have discussed this, agenda item today then is if you have a certain schedule, every meeting bring one business, two businesses, every other meeting. Because I think that's made a big difference, and I shared with you an article on
I
Southern
saw
Express
that.
I
That
did
was
to those
amazing.
also.
of how the chamber and different businesses have
And
come
there was, I
together.
think it was HEB and was it Walgreens? There were several.
Several, HEB was a primary
Yes.
partner.
Employer, yeah.
And you know, you're real tight with HEB, you know how you get along. No, I think it's a great idea. I think, while we might not think the chamber makes a difference, it does make a difference. In the San Antonio area, one of the things that we've learned is that association and marketing to the businesses themselves makes a world of a difference because they connect. If they like you, they're gonna wanna follow your passion. And if you can tap into those pools, then the opportunity for growth. Every business that I've made contact with here in Laredo, and I become a friendly face, someone that, you know, compliments their business and tells them, you know, you guys are doing amazing, has opened up the doors. The businesses where I've not made that contact, I don't care. There's no difference between one small city and a big city. Everything's about, do I know you? Do I feel your passion? And if you're-
Connections.
And do I make that connection? So I still think that talking to the chamber, because you do have a group of people that show up, it would be going to the mingle, you know, sessions, you know, as a speaker, and 5-10 minutes that they give you will make a world. All you do is you pass out, this is our, and one of the things I was going to suggest is you might want to consider maybe getting some business cards. Because if they make connection, they want to know who to contact. You giving them their name, it does not make a difference. And they need to know who they go to. Either that or a brochure or a flyer that we don't have as part of the ADA. You know, we ourselves need to be marketable as delegates for the mayor. And if we have nothing that we can give someone else,
Something tangible.
they're gonna forget you. So,
I have a suggestion, and I don't know if it depends on how what the group thinks. We do have some organizations already within the city that hire individuals with disabilities. Apparently in your article that you sent us, Whataburger was on there. HEB was on there with several others. Would it be smart on our part to ask them, invite them over just so that we can learn from them about why they do what they do? And
So they educate us.
so they can tell us this is the reasons why we do it, and maybe that's the same kind of language that we need to use and approach that
Yes.
we have to do, because we have our perspective, but obviously they've done it. They've overcome that original fear that they have about hiring people with disabilities, because what are we gonna do? What if? And one of the article that you brought up is very informative in the sense that it indicates how the actual employer was actually also trained to deal with how do you deal with individuals with disabilities, how do you train them, what are the kinds of things you're gonna have to overcome. Those are things that I think that we may think we know them, and maybe they don't spin off well because they say, well, who are you? You haven't hired them.
We're gonna tell,
But
yes.
when we bring HEB or we bring Walmart, maybe we need to ask them, this is what we've been trying to do, we want to do. So tell us, what convinced your organization to go in that direction? What do you use? What do you provide the individuals with disabilities in order to make them competitive and make them competent to do their job? I don't know.
Sure, I have a
It's up to you what you all think.
I have a question. When you're talking about inviting the ones that have already done it, are you talking about the locals or the ones who were in the article that actually already did it?
Well, I'm hoping that Walmart, I'm
Because
hoping that
thinking-
HEB and Whataburger Local is, they're implementing their system-wide policy
Because
about
if the
hiring.
locals, the point I have is that the locals haven't done it, but maybe the people in the article, where are they based, San Antonio? Maybe we could reach them by phone, invite a local HEB person and contact the one from San Antonio, so we can hear what they've done, even though it's the same company, you know what I'm saying?
Mr. Chair, 3 of the ones in the article are in Laredo.
Yeah.
HEB, Whataburger, and Santigos. Apparently Santigos in San Antonio is doing a big push to hire, and they're in the ticket sales, or the greeters, or the ushers. and they're doing a great job.
So could we maybe get them on the phone when we meet and have the local people?
Well, and see, the difference here is if you're gonna go with something that's a franchise, well, everybody has their set of rules, even though it is a franchise. But if you're gonna go with a corporation like H-E-B, Walmart, I would imagine that their information trickles
Yeah.
down to the
Our
corporation.
experience has been that yes, that's true.
Mhm.
But in the implementation of, do you have someone with a disability working for you here locally in Laredo? Well, don't you, I mean, you have, like you say, trickle down from, the mothership. They have the corporate,
Yeah.
uh,
I think the approach needs to be, as you were suggesting, is let's outreach them, let's talk to the right folks and let's invite them. Hey, this is what we are, this is what we do. How do we inject ourselves there or educate us on your processes so that we could better advocate for the community, that we're advocating for?
No.
And just because we've tried different avenues, we've even tried the Chamber of Commerce,
we have,
and unfortunately, sometimes that has not worked out as much as we thought it would. And so maybe we're shooting
Go
too,
directly
we're
to
too
the-
global. Maybe
Yeah.
what we need to do is we
Break
need
it
to
down.
focus and zero in on certain organizations, say, okay, let's do 2 or 3 organizations a month,
And we
okay?
can say, large employer, medium employer, small employer, but I think we wanna hit the large employer first, only because
Yes.
they have a vast array of
Yes.
positions that we could.
Now, I will tell you from a marketing point of view, if you are gonna market to employers are very, very busy. And I've mentioned this before, they're very, very busy, so you telling them, make some time, they're gonna come in, hit their target, leave. However, if instead of hitting, like you said, we're hitting certain number of employers over a period of time,
But we go meet at their place.
that's
Yes.
the key.
Yes. We go meet at their
Because
place. We'll
see,
come to
they-
your house.
Because see,
And they'll
it's,
host us.
yes, the hosting makes
Yes,
a
I
world of a
agree.
difference.
Cause then they're gonna be
Work for it.
patient, we're gonna be in their world, maybe we get a tour,
And
to
and that's what you
understand.
ask, you tell them, we've read this
Mhm.
article, this is an amazing opportunity, I can tell you right now, my daughter attended, she's a director in San Antonio. She attended a hireability event, what they did is there's a gentleman, I can't remember his name right now, but he is a president of one of the bigger banks in San Antonio, and he has a daughter with autism, so he has taken upon himself to create a coalition, and they just had their first event. They had, I think, over 100 employers there, and what they did is they had people from the community, people from the
Okay.
workforce, people from different agencies who came in, and what they did is
Thank you.
they provided like an opportunity for what's it called, to have the employers talk about how they had hired people. And then they have this thing where they had a phone and people could text messages over and they would answer the questions, and the questions ranged everything from what keeps you from hiring someone with a disability. And they were really honest about it. They had the zoo there, they had H-E-B, Whataburger, I think maybe about 15, 20 employers there. And it was very interesting to see the dialogue back and forth between the employers, the parents, the community itself. And it brought a lot of awareness, and it was one of the first events. I mean, it was I'd say a tear as the, situation, because you have people who give testimonies, when this person came in here, I didn't think he would make it, but, he's changed the whole composite of the organization. Those testimonials have made a world of a difference. But when they
Yes.
first started getting those people involved, what they did is, they didn't ask them to come, they didn't invite them to their house. They said, can I go to your house, basically? Can I go to your business?
I think that's huge. I
And
think,
when we went to the mall,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
worked.
yeah.
Yes, it does.
So if we just can outreach them and ask for meeting, I can commit, you want me to commit to outreach,
I can outreach HB,
and I can do Walmart, right?
yeah, and just for starters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Whataburger's already open to things also.
Now, I'm gonna be in a meeting with, Laredo Medical Center, HR, and I'm gonna take advantage when I'm there to kind of plant a seed, so I'm gonna do that to LMC,
And Mr. Chair,
because they're a large employer.
I think Mr. Gutierrez also has a good point. We can't exclude the chamber, just the different
No.
standards, because Mr. Conchas, you all have met with him, he's
Yes.
committed, and he probably needs an update.
Yes.
We are in the list for
For
their
that.
breakfast
Yeah.
meetings, and we just touched base with them this week, and they have us, they just don't have a date. So we are on the list to meet with the chamber, both for the breakfast meeting and to be in next year's formal agenda for one of their meetings. But I think this, after reading this, because the chamber and the different companies, they created their own task force
Yes.
to promote it, and Capital Bank is another one.
Yes, oh, Capital Bank, and I think
Capital Bank
that's
is
it, and I can't remember the name of the gentleman, that's it.
So, and we have Ian Whataburger.
Now, I cannot reach, I'm trying to remember his name, it's to the tip of my mind, but I just can't remember right now. He offered to even come to Laredo and make a presentation if he needed to. Okay? He is 100% with the belief that if we can diversify our workforce, then we've created a better community for the whole, for everyone. So Austin is embracing his initiative, and I think we should take it, even if he participates over the phone, he's very open, yes.
Okay, we've got, you said Walmart, LMC, and who else?
HEB.
Yeah.
H-E-B.
Samantha left, right, there's somebody else there at HEB.
Already locally already hires just with disabilities for, like, honestly, I've seen some individuals that.
Dos Marias are Ocean's employee.
And so-
Chick-fil-A, something like that.
Yeah. And
And
so.
I guess what they can bring to the table is, I guess, the technical assistance to us, because I think that's, you know, and I'm not, I think by any ways try to exclude the chamber. What I'm saying is that, in the meantime, we can move forward in a different manner and
You know what it was called? It's called Project Ability, and it was hosted by Morgan's Wonderland in San Antonio. And what they,
Seymour, his dad has done so
Yes.
much in
And
San
so-
Antonio.
yeah, and so what they did is they hosted the event there, and they brought in, like I said, they brought in employers. They brought in employers to give testimonies. They actually had one young man who got up there, and he gave a presentation. Very similar to what we do with the LDA, except that this was more on a global
LDA,
scale.
the
Blue ribbon. No, LDA.
for
we
the
did-
symposium.
For the symposium. Very similar to that, except that this was just because it was not, it didn't have a particular objective other than to bring awareness and to find out what is it, what are the gaps that exist, so that we can find out how do we make a difference, and how do we approach an employer? What do we say? Do we wait, and I call it the Vietnam approach, you get someone hired, and then you say, hey, by the way, they have a disability, because it's so difficult to say, here's my disclosure, this is what they have. And it's one of those things where it is not easy, and most of it is because of lack of knowledge. Not because they don't want to, but because they're afraid that they'll make a mistake, and then they can dismiss like they would anybody else.
it's, I know that some of you have expressed that you all need to be out by
Yeah, we
12.
need to go home.
Okay, so it's like 12 minutes till. So with regard to that second item in agenda, item 4, the idea is that
Diana and Ceci volunteered to contact
LMC.
LMC, HEB, and Walmart.
Okay.
And Mr. Chair, I think you're right, to come in here, tell us how they did it. Give us, how do we join you? to
Yeah, how do
promote
we
this?
lock arms?
And how do we get others to join you? I mean, to join them in hiring and facilitating access to
Have you
individuals with
considered
disabilities?
outreach in the newspaper and maybe having, doing a feature story or an article or something?
See, businesses love that, so
Yeah.
say that we would host, and it would be all be a strategic plan, I know we're short of time, but I'm gonna make it short, believe it or not. That we could outreach to business and say, look, we'd like to come to your house, if you would host our VRC meeting, you know, describe who it is we are, what we do. But we would also like to bring the media to show that we're advocating and that you're opening the doors, you're willing to have this conversation, are you okay with that? And we can get the media there.
It's an excellent
That's
idea.
fine, sounds good.
Yeah.
Right?
Sounds
And that way
good.
that'll bring that awareness, it's twofold.
And if it's a blue ribbon committee, then we have to tag the camera
yes,
on
you have to
this,
take
right?
the
Yeah, that's
camera.
fine.
Yeah.
And have a video for the video that we
Yes.
wanted to make, because I know like Walmart already hires our kids, but it's
Right.
job training, it's not actual job, but it's still close.
Do they pay them?
No.
See, that's the.
How old
We
are
don't
the
get-
kids?
We don't get paid, they're little. They're 15, 16.
That's always been the
Just to
case.
learn to fold, they just go
They
an
get-
hour.
They get the training, but then they don't
Training.
get.
Yeah,
the
we don't
job.
get paid.
So they,
We don't get
they go to where to
Walmart.
Walmart for training, but
Walmart.
Walmart does not hire?
No,
Well, I mean,
When they graduate, if they're not assured.
it's not assured
the
a job,
will
yes, it's just,
continue.
they start learning there, we take them to different job sites, and Walmart is one of our job
Because the
sites.
state requires that they have a transitional plan to employment.
So
Yes.
that's part of the
So
plan.
that's part of their
So
plan,
to
we're giving them
graduate-
skills, they're learning how to fold, they're learning how to.
but that's where
cook.
the vocational programs is bridging the gap, and the Texas workforce has a navigator now, that we're trying to
To
connect
make
to work
them-
experience
better.
and actual job
And-
placements.
But that's the piece that has been missing for many, many years. The kids graduate with employability skills, but then they do not get the job.
Well, I think we're bridging the gap right now, and I think
I'd
it's a
love
great,
to
it's
see
it's a
it.
great initiative
I
right
would
now.
love to see it happen.
There's a
And the
mandate,
state, we now have a grant, us and vocational rehabilitation, that is now a year-round work experience, so if they meet those qualifications, we employ them, you know, a certain amount of time, but there's more money in that bucket, is what I'd like to say, to employ more individuals and give them more an opportunity.
it's through the
So,
Wyola funding
Yeah,
and stuff.
that we often,
Yeah. So there is, that gap is being,
yeah, they're
bridged.
working to bridge that, yeah. Okay.
Well, we'll start with the organizations that you mentioned, and then we'll think about some of the other larger organizations. Don't wanna name them, but yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Okay. Next item is the development video for workforce development, and I think that, Becky, you mentioned right now that,
Maybe we could video the, when we're taking the media to
To
these
make it-
places.
yeah.
To make that little clip, just like the one the city made with the gentleman here,
Right.
from the same
Mm-hmm.
people. Cause like our video clip that we had is like iPad, and it's still in IT, and they're trying to fix.
There's so much red tape involved as well.
Yeah, well, because of the
Yes.
media disclosure.
And it looks fuzzy and stuff, so it would be
Yeah.
best, real
Yeah.
cameras, to do
Yeah,
the video.
exactly. Yeah, and everybody would agree, all the parties, you know,
Right.
that they would agree, why
We
not?
actually have a form that most, well, I don't know if it's still going on, but at the beginning of the school year, self-contained teachers at LISD,
Oh,
that
this
was
is
one
the-
of the forms that the parents, we'd ask the parents, do we have your permission? You know, at Special Olympics or other events, do we have permission to videotape or take a
Yeah, the
picture?
media release.
Yeah,
form.
exactly.
Mhm.
And usually that's in place. That's why I suggested it, if you had a video.
And Mr. Chair, we already spoke to PAC, and so they're willing
To do it.
to do the taping, we just need to let them know, and this might be that's certainly an event, it should be taped.
That would be safe, and it would be adults, and they could speak a little, my kids, well, I speak for our kids, sometimes are very camera shy, and they've, even though we've practiced what you're going to say, once we get there, it's like,
happens to us.
So you have.
it happens to
Yeah.
us, so definitely to our
Even
kids,
if we
so.
had just a video of them doing something and then we can voice over. This is an example of successful.
Well, that's what we
job
were,
placement.
IT was trying to do, but I don't know that
So
we
you have someone who
finished.
does video.
Oh,
Right.
So when we put this on the agenda,
Yes.
this was a spin-off from the
Yes.
gentleman that came to work for
For
you.
the city, from the city.
Now, when we put this on the agenda, was there a specific individual that we were thinking of?
No, we were
That
just trying to
can be-
get different, I know I had a particular student in mind, but that's kind of been,
Did you call?
I have, but now that I don't have to bring our technology person,
this
it's a
would
lot
be,
easier.
but
I didn't know I had somebody to record. Let's get a video person from the school district.
the video that was done was amazing. I mean,
Yes,
that's
that
so
one was
professionally
really-
made. I mean, completely.
You can find someone
Let's
else?
see.
Yeah, and Dr. Rodney.
Okay, good.
Well, just to tie up this item, Mr. Chair, you've got the public access facilities from the city committed to do that. And so as we plan events, and certainly one would be that the employers would have to go tape there. And so we'll just have it ready for when it happens or for when events happen, and we can take that.
Sounds good.
Again, as we did say though, the one that we showed you, the LC did hire a professional, and a great little video.
It's beautiful.
They approved and said that we can use that one.
Sounds
That's
good.
great.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. Any other further discussion on any of those 3 items?
No, but I did wanna, remember how I told you about this is the same article coming up, and the gentleman's name is Sean Kennedy, and
Yes.
he's from Capital, he's a chairman for the,
Chamber of Commerce.
If you want to, I cannot reach him, and maybe, we can have him, either Skype or something, and, because he can tell you how it's not reinventing the wheel, but, duplicating in our small city, and he doesn't have a problem with doing anything like that. So, I know that, he will be very, very open, and we probably would learn a lot from what we did.
Sure, you can speak to him. We just need to make sure that we don't have too many people on our agenda next time, because we have the gentleman from San Antonio, and we have the other employers who bring it up.
That's fine, I'll ask, I'll call
We
you
just
first
need
and
to
let
make, we
you
just
know.
need to make sure that we don't overdo it.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to clarify, you're going to contact these businesses, yes?
Yes.
Okay. What is it to plan for us to have a meeting at one of those places next
Yes,
time?
for the purpose of, let's give you the exposure of what we do and what our role is, and we want to understand what your hiring standards are.
So then you would plan it for the next time we meet, for the November meeting?
That would be correct. Yes,
Okay.
yeah, that's the next time. To see what
With
their
the
schedule is.
possibility that we might be able to tape.
Yes,
or
so
record.
and media,
Yes.
and the media outreach and
See, and if
everything.
you take that, that can be a piece of the actual video that we're gonna put together,
Mhm.
where we see the kids actually successfully employer training.
Mhm.
Which is our next meeting, is November the 14th.
Okay, so that's a date we're gonna try and set them up for.
But again, at your discretion, just to facilitate, if they can't make it on the 14th, make it
December.
to keep
And we
to
do
keep
flexible.
the agenda, we just would need to post as a special meeting. So it could be the next Wednesday or the Wednesday before, or even a different day. We would just need to publish it as and it would be a special meeting in the Blue Ribbon.
Okay.
So it wouldn't take the place up.
I'm just saying you have that flexibility, because maybe
Oh,
he
okay.
can't make it.
Maybe that day is not good.
Or
And that
next-
gives them an ample time too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna shoot for that, and you're right, thank you for that. If it doesn't work, then
We can do another.
we can have that communication and we'll let you all know, the committee know, and then we can go from there. Okay.
Sounds good, thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. Any other announcements? Ms. Sado, are you there?
Yes, I just wanted to mention that the HEB50 sharing is going to be November the 3rd from 11 to 3 at the Thames Auto Arena.
The what?
Feast of-
Same.
Piece of share.
It should be
Feast
a
of
feast of sharing.
Sharing.
For Thanksgiving.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that.
And I wanted to share also that, the Night to Shine, is, scheduled for February the 9th. We're still looking for a location. No, it's the 9th, February the 9th, it's the last Friday, John. So if any of you know of any place that might be able to accommodate, we're still, I'm sorry, it's the 8th, I apologize,
Yeah.
February the 8th. February the 8th, not the 9th.
February the 8th falls on a,
And since you guys are, what is it called, from the district, I was told that I needed to advise
Before time, yeah, so it's February the 8th, and it is a prom-like event, free of charge to anyone with a disability. And we are looking for volunteers, so, we're still looking, we were hoping to get the Civic Center, but the Civic Center shut down. So, we're hoping and we're believing that we are gonna get a big facility. Last year we had, in 22 days, we were able to, acquire about 143 individuals with disabilities that attended. So I figure that if we start promoting, we probably would hit 300 to 400 individuals. And so we need a big place, and we're not about to turn anyone down, so I know it's gonna be amazing.
so the location that you're looking for,
Is I need a big location.
okay, but
Like a dance hall.
but are you asking for them to
Donate it?
donate the
Well,
In kind,
this is what happens, we received a grant for $4,500.
And that's for everything.
That was for everything. Last year, we spent $8,273, that's what we spent last year. We paid a small portion for the location at the barn, but the barn is amazing, but it's very small. And when you start publicizing, you're going to have to track people down, and it's very, I mean, it's hard rejection to say, you know,
Yeah.
here you have, and you can't come, so I'd rather have a bigger place.
Just in case.
Yes, just because we will get hit. And I mean, people came in from Monterrey who were ex-students, and they came in from Monterrey. We had 4 or 5, we had people who were in their 70s, 60s, 50s, and who had never gone, people who had never gone to the prom. It was an amazing
It
event.
really
So we are looking for a bigger place because the grant calls for 1 individual per,
Volunteer.
to
Volunteer
One
for each.
volunteer per every person.
We're in construction, so yeah.
I know.
We're under construction, so.
Have you all approached the LEC?
I did approach them and they never responded, but I'm known for knocking on doors, and all I need is a name that I can bother, and I will eat coffee, drink, whatever. Just to see if we can get in. So if any of you have any connections, it is a community event, and it was amazing last year. Diana was there. She was a queen for a little bit.
Okay, we'll keep our eyes and our ears open to see what, if there's a location that we can find for the demographic.
I have a quick
Yes.
announcement in the form of a thank you for your support. I've been the Women's City Club forever, and we raise, everything we raise every year goes directly to this community, and it's for nonprofits and it's for charity. Our biggest fundraiser is either every year is either the golf tournament or Dancing with the Stars. And this year, Dr. G's secretary, Erica, danced. And I wanted to say a big thank you because without people like Erica, there'd be no funds available. And every year we get more and more requests from the community, and there's never enough money, so we're very grateful for her support. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We'll let her know.
Well,
She
she's
told
a
me.
she's a dancer.
Oh,
She's a
she's
dancer.
danced all her life. She's actually professional.
Yeah.
She's taken lessons all her life. Thank you.
And talking about the Women's City Club, okay, I know that I've always been very impressed by the fact that every year you give away every dime that you collect.
Everybody, and it stays here.
You start from zero
We
again.
start from zero, and not
Whereas-
only that, if we have to send out a letter, we have to pay for the stamp. We don't take anything out of the kitty, because
Whereas there are many other organizations that raise money and they leave something in the piggy bank, okay? They leave something there, so they don't have to start from zero. But I know that I've always been impressed with the Women's City Club, and, you know, if you collect 300,000, you give away 300,000.
and it's never enough, sir. It's so hard to sit there and look at all the requests and know that you can't meet all of them.
I have a question. So who's our contact persons for the Women's City?
Usually Nancy Leanda is a contact person. You can try other people like Laura Link, she's the chair of the board right now.
If we were to solicit funds, they would be from Nancy Leon.
But there is a procedure and a packet that needs to be filled out, so you would need to request it, and I believe this year it's too late. You would have to, but that's okay, because you can get the packet and submit it for next year.
Okay, thank you. And thank all the ladies on the Women's City Club for this. Do I hear, does anybody want to adjourn?
Yes.
Well, can we-
Diana?